Hello everyone, I am Bhuvna from GVP College of Engineering for Women of EC Department bearing 18JG1 A0438 roll number. Now I am going to explain how to build a workflow using Uipath Studio, which is basically robotic path automation. Here is the workflow which is to be built. First, we need to go to Google and enter GVP then the college website will be opened. Then we need to go to administration and get the details of president, secretary, director, principal, vice principal, and director R&D, and ask the user for the input, where the inputs are 1 to 6, which indicate president, secretary, director in all of these respectively. And if the input is 0, the simulation stops. So if the input is other than the numbers 0 to 6, then you should ask the user again for the input. So in order to build this workflow, we need to use Uipath Studio, which we need to install prior to this project. This is the Uipath Studio. First of all, we need to create a new sequence by going to new and then click on sequence. Then a sequence will be built. We can give any name to the sequence. Here I gave my roll number. So first of all, we need to go to Google and open the browser GVPCW. So I used open browser, which we can find in activities if we type it here. So we can drag this and drop it here. We should give the website over here in double quotes since it is a string. And this is automatically generated in the open browser. We should go to administration and get the details of all these members. So we can use click over here. Go to the website. We click over here, then it gets captured and is shown over here. Then in order to get the text of president, secretary, director, principal, vice principal, and director R&D, we need to use get text, which I renamed as president, secretary, director, principal, vice principal, and director R&D. We can also find get text over here. We should drag this and drop it here. Then I used a do while loop in which I used input dialog box for user input, for entering user input. The variable which I gave is input, and after the user input I used a switch case in which there are 6 cases. First case prints the text 1, which gives the details of president, since the variable which I gave here is text 1. Similarly, for secretary, director, and furthermore, I gave it as text 2, text 3, text 4, and so on. And in the default block I gave wrong input as the message to be printed. If the user input is other than 0 to 6, then it prints wrong input and again asks the user for the input. Then if the input is not equal to 0, this do while loop repeats continuously iterates continuously. And if it is 0, then the simulation stops and it prints the message saying stop execution. So this is it all about how to build a workflow using robotic process automation UiPath. Now I'll show the execution of this workflow. So it is asking for the user input. Let's give the user input as 8. So it is showing as wrong input because 8 doesn't lie between 0 to 6. So now let's give the user input as 3. So 3 is between 0 to 6. In the cases which I've given in the switch activity. So the details of that respective person are obtained. So it asks for the user input continuously until we enter 0. If we enter 0, the execution stops. Let's enter 2. So we got the details of the respective person. Let's execute once more. Now let's give the input as 4. We got the details of the respective person. Now I'm giving the input as 0, so the execution stops. So the execution has stopped now.